It's 5 and 10 from Skywatch TV for Thursday, May 2nd, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you very much. Please subscribe, click the bell for notifications, but be aware that at some point we may be canceled. There is a way to protect yourself against that, and I'll tell you about that after the break today. Topic number 5, Israel and Gaza. British troops may be deployed to distribute aid in Gaza. This is via that new sea route that the United States is in the process of building. President Biden and the Pentagon say that no U.S. troops will go ashore and that an unnamed third party would drive trucks along this floating causeway to the beach to distribute aid. The U.K. apparently is undertaking this analysis to determine whether it would be feasible for British troops to take over this responsibility. No comment from the British government or from the IDF, which would probably be tasked with providing security for these folks, delivering aid to the people of Gaza. Meanwhile, President Biden is thinking about offering Palestinian Arabs permanent safe haven in the United States. This would include various benefits, including a path to citizenship. This is reported by CBS News based on information from federal government documents. This offer would refer only to certain Palestinian Arabs who have immediate family members in the U.S. as U.S. citizens or permanent residents, or those who have American relatives. But this report, according to this report, this would have to be coordinated with the government of Egypt, who would have to accommodate these people going through a screening process. And the Egyptians are not eager to allow large numbers of Palestinian Arabs inside its territory, as we've mentioned before. The other nations in the region, remember back to 1970 and the Black September uprising that took place in Jordan that forced the Kingdom of Jordan to send the army in to clean out the Palestine Liberation Organization. Yasser Arafat tried to launch a coup against King Hussein. They left, went to Lebanon, and started a civil war there. So none of the nations in the region very eager to have the Palestinian Arabs. Again, President Biden considering bringing at least some of them here. Topic number 4, campus chaos related to what's happening in Israel and Gaza. Chaos on campuses across the United States. 2 universities basically seeing clashes between police and protesting students. This at UCLA in Los Angeles. This taking place just hours after police in New York cleared a Gaza encampment at Columbia University. Scenes of mayhem at these 2 campuses being spread on social media. At UCLA, the conflict going on deep into the night with fireworks being thrown by protesters at police, some of them exploding a little closer to the encampment than they anticipated. But at the same time that these altercations were taking place in California and New York, a protester at the campus of the University of Arizona struck in the head by a rubber bullet. Police were arrested, police using non-lethal chemical munitions, in other words, tear gas, to clear the encampments. In New Orleans, state police and local police worked to disperse a crowd at Tulane University. That resulted in 6 arrests, the suspension of 7 students. An investigation launched by Tulane into whether faculty involved in those protests. One amusing detail from the protests on Tuesday, a graduate student and left-wing political activist at Columbia named Johanna King-Slutsky demanded that the university allow food and drink to be delivered to the building that had been occupied by the protesters. This is sort of like Hamas, attacking Israel and then demanding that Israel continue providing power and water to the enclave, the Gaza Strip. Anyway, Ms. King-Slutsky had cited the fact that students, or their parents more likely, had paid for Columbia's meal plan as the reason for demanding that food deliveries be allowed into the building. Now, she was pressed by reporters who asked, is Columbia blocking food and water to be delivered? Well, I don't know. Anyway, she also claimed that denying food and drink deliveries to the pro-Palestinian, anti-Israeli protesters, anti-Semitic protesters, would mean effectively sentencing them to die from dehydration or starvation. It's like, think through your protest a little bit. Maybe stock up on some water and MREs or something before you decide to declare your liberated zone independent from any outside authority. I suspect that this young lady will be voted most likely to direct the next Star Wars trilogy for Disney. Topic number 3, Title IX As long as we're on the subject of higher education, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton suing the Biden administration over their rewrite of Title IX, which pushes transgender ideology. The new regulations are largely being interpreted as promoting gender confusion, using the term gender identity rather than biological sex to describe certain situations. This appears to mandate allowing boys into girls' bathrooms and changing rooms. Therefore, the rule not only promotes but forces transgender ideology on schools that receive federal funds. So Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton suing the Biden administration over this, as well as a group of 6 other Republican state attorneys general who filed a lawsuit on Tuesday over this radical rewrite of Title IX. This lawsuit, led by Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman and Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti, filed in the District Court for the Eastern District of Kentucky. The Attorneys General of Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, and Virginia also joining this lawsuit with Tennessee and Kentucky. Topic number 2, bird flu. Avian flu continues to spread across the United States, this highly pathogenic avian influenza. About 6 weeks ago, the disease hit cows at a North Texas dairy farm, and just a few days later, the cats on the farm began acting strangely. Their eyes and noses leaked. They walked in circles incessantly. Bodies grew stiff. They eventually, sadly, died. And according to officials at the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, a dozen of those cats on this farm, casualties of HPAI, the highly pathogenic avian influenza. They appear to have contracted the virus by eating raw, unpasteurized milk from cows on that farm. Now, officials say that if you're drinking pasteurized milk, there's no danger. I mean, the high heat required to pasteurize milk will denature the viruses, basically destroy them. Yes, we can be rightly suspicious of official information from the CDC, but this is scientific fact. When you heat the milk to pasteurize it, you basically are killing the viruses. But no signs of virus in any pasteurized milk as of this point. Meanwhile, a Florida bottlenose dolphin has become the most recent mammal to die from this HPAI. Researchers at the University of Florida, that is, made the discovery during a necropsy on a dolphin that was found in distress in a canal in Dixie County in March of 2022, in fact. Despite rescue efforts, the dolphin did not survive long after it was discovered, but scientists at the University of Florida found symptoms similar to those in other Florida wildlife infected with this strain of avian influenza. Additional testing ruled out other causes of death and confirmed the presence of the virus in the dolphin's lungs and brain. Coming up, Politico, a left-leaning news site, has exposed the most recent vast right-wing conspiracy: babies. That's next on 5 and 10.
We want to make sure that you know how you can get your copies of both of these new works in the Nearing Midnight and Hereafter exclusive offer. This amazing offer includes Nearing Midnight as It Was in the Days of Lot by the legendary Terry James, that explores in detail through the prism of God's Word the potential for nuclear war to break out at any moment. How the entire world is facing the imminency of a dictatorial digital monetary system. Why Mother Earth worship in the form of climate change insanity is being forced upon humanity. How the entities of Ephesians 6:12 will establish control through a new world order, and the blessed hope believers have in the return of the Messiah. Also included in this special offer is Jonathan Brentner's Hereafter. It's far better than you can imagine. This beautifully written new masterpiece will forever change the way that you view the afterlife. You will experience the anticipation of the jubilant reunion and celebrations in heaven that believers will partake in after this current life. Broaden your understanding of heaven and the start of eternity. You'll also learn the answers to difficult questions like, how will we experience and perceive time once in heaven? What will our emotions be like? What will our heavenly bodies be like? Will we have supernatural powers? And so much more. But we're just getting started. Also included is Jonathan Brentner's best-selling book, Triumph of the Redeemed. In this fascinating work, Jonathan helps you grasp onto the eternal perspective during life's perilous circumstances, the new earth, and so much more. This incredible offer also includes The Coming Judgments on DVD, where Terry James and Pete Garcia delve into great detail on the seal, trumpets, and bowl judgments listed in the book of Revelation. Also included is Jonathan Brentner's presentation entitled Hope in the Rapture. You'll be shocked when you find out why the Thessalonians were grief-stricken regarding the rapture upon receiving the Apostle Paul's first letter, and how you can be free from this very same trap. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of nearly $90. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. So don't delay. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this exclusive offer. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Nearing Midnight and Hereafter exclusive offer right now.
Item number one today. Apparently, right-wing extremists are trying to take over the world by having more babies. This is according to a new story in Politico. The title of the article, The Far Right's Campaign to Explode the Population. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. The author of the piece went behind the scenes at the first natal conference called NatalCon. Apparently this alliance of people throwing out the idea of winning converts to their cause by growing them from the cradle up. This conference took place in Austin, Texas at the end of last year. Those who attended the conference believe that low fertility rates and long-term population decline is a threat to future growth. We've talked about this on this program. The population, according to demographers now, is apparently going to peak around 2060 and then begin to fall. China looking at a population decline of perhaps 2/3 by the end of this century. There are some demographers who believe that if this begins, once this begins, I should say, it may not reverse. This is not a good thing. So it's, in fact, something we should be all talking about more, and yet we're still being gaslit with the stories that carbon footprint caused by growing children is a bad thing. Nope. There are still, in governments around the world, more of a focus on creating global poverty by collecting more taxes to fight climate change, leaving us all poor, cold, and in the dark. Anyway, the author of this piece seems to fixate on the idea that if these natal conners have their way, our society will start focusing on family and children again, as though that's a bad thing. She writes, and I quote, "Natalism is often about more than raising birth rates, though that certainly is one of its aims. For many in the room, the ultimate goal is total social overhaul, a culture in which child rearing is paramount." End quote. Oh, the horror, a society that actually values raising children. Well, I guess when your worldview is centered around exterminating children, the idea of making, having, and loving kids is a serious threat to your worldview. Skywatch TV's virtual conference, Countering the Darkness, still on, and you still have 90 days to watch it if you have not yet signed up. From the moment you sign up, instant access, 90 days to watch the conference presentations in any order you choose. You set the conference schedule, including presentations by Pastor Carl Gallups, Rabbi Jonathan Kahn, and Dr. Tom Horn, his final presentation for Skywatch TV. Find out more and sign up today and get free access as a bonus. Free access to all 6 Skywatch Films feature-length documentaries. DefenderConference.com, DefenderConference.com. We are heading into the end times, so certainly closer to the end than to the beginning. And this week we begin a series with end times experts Terry James and Jonathan Brentner. Don't miss these programs. Where are we going? How did we get here? And what happens next? Program available right now at skywatchtv.com. It's where you find all of our video content. You can also catch it right now on our over-the-air broadcast, the broadcast schedule. is posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. You can also catch it right now at Apple TV or Roku if you have the Skywatch TV channel for that app. Catch it at rumble.com/skywatchtv, or our free mobile app. And this is how you guarantee we never get canceled. We will not be canceled from our app. It's available for iOS, Android, and Amazon Kindle Fire phones and tablets. We've got links to their app stores, so you can find the device or the app that's right for your device at skywatchtv.com/app. Thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.